Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all can join us once again, both for our radio audience here in the South and an online audience tuning in, thanks to our friends at iHeartRadio as well as Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could join us as well. I'm excited to welcome to this segment Adele Pomerenke. We're going to talk to her not only about her love of the arts. She's known for her work in dance, also film, and also music as well. But talk to Adele about what it's been like for her to do what she loves, a new film that's coming out called The Penitent Thief, and of course that you guys know how to stay connected with her as she's heading through the rest of this year. Adele, thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Glad to do it. Well, you've definitely been busy, Adele. We're going to get into The Penitent Thief here in a bit because that is the film that's coming up this month. I want to talk about the reflection. You made a really fascinating post on your Instagram feed lately, and you were kind of reflecting on where you were this time last year, right? Then really focused on dance with the Nutcracker. What has it been like for you, though, to be able to see, Adele, how you've been able to do what you love and to see the hard work paying off for you?
You know, I'm thankful. And I'm really blessed for that. It's been kind of interesting to see. You don't really realize how far you've come or what you've been able to accomplish or that these dreams came true for you because you're so busy working until, you get that memory from Facebook or whatever, a year or 2 or 4 years later. And so just getting to look back and go, wow, I've been getting to do that. That's really, really cool. And that's really, I'm thankful and I'm proud of myself for that.
Well, I think, the other great thing is, Adele, and I love the fact that you're able to do so many great things and to find success in them because it really it flies in the face of what we're told a lot. I know when I was growing up, one of the big rule of thumbs was, you have to focus on one thing. Well, you definitely have shown you don't have to do that, right? People have gotten to know you for dance. So, yeah, they've gotten to know you for acting. Now, of course, your love of music with singing. Have you always been encouraged to just do whatever feels true to your soul?
Yes, I came from a family. I was very thankful. My parents, we didn't have an abundance of financial backing, but I always say that I had all of the emotional backing and support possible. They just always wanted me to do whatever I felt called to do or that made me feel like my own person. I would wear, when I was a little kid, my mom would let me wear fur boas and ripped up jeans to the grocery store and just growing up, it was always just, well, if that's what you want to do, okay, well, then let's go for it and try it. And, you're right. You can do more than just one thing. You can do lots of different things with your life. The world has so much to offer. And if you feel called to more than one thing or it changes in a day, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, such a great point. And I think, too, I love that encouragement that you were given. People in my family thought I was weird, Adele, but they still encouraged me. They're like, you know what, I don't know if that's going to work, but if you want to do it, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, no, they thought I was weird, too. Yeah, no, but they encouraged, okay.
Yeah. Right. Well, I want to go then to the acting for you because I love the fact, even as you've been doing a lot, and definitely shout out to Studio Matrix and Wendy Shepard. I've been able to work with her over the years. I love the fact that she's really being able to spotlight the gift. Have you always known that you were meant for something, Adele? Is that something that's always been true for you, that you knew that you were meant to do something special?
I don't know if I would say special because I don't see. I wouldn't necessarily say that anything I'm doing is more special than say somebody that works maybe a more normal 9-to-5 office job. But I do think that I was always aware that I was of what I was going to do my whole life. I never was really in a position where I didn't really know what to do. I think I did a little bit. I just didn't know which thing to do, so that I just decided to try to do a little bit of everything I enjoyed and wanted to do. But, yeah, I always kind of knew, which I guess once I became an adult realized, oh, that's not what other people get. Other people don't know what they want to do. I've always known. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and so I'm going to do it. I had that rare opportunity just since the beginning, since I can remember, of just knowing.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, and I'm sure other people appreciate the way you phrase that, Adele, because I think, I guess at the end of the day, we all are special in being able to do whatever that thing is that makes us happy. So I guess maybe I'll ask you this as a follow-up to that question. Have you been always able to do it unafraid of what others may think? And I phrase it that way because a lot of times there are people who do things, as you know, I know people this way, they do things because people think it's a safe way or that they're trying to please someone else. Have you always known that you wanted to do things and would find happiness in doing things that you wanted to do rather than what other people expected of you?
Yes, in a sense. But I also believe in you do it afraid anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
right.
I would be. I care a lot about people to the point where I kind of can be a people pleaser. But I've learned that you just have to do it even if you're afraid of what somebody's going to think. Being scared is going to happen no matter what. It's what you do with the fear. It's rather, do you let it tell you what to do, or do you go, okay, I'm afraid, but I'm just going to do this afraid. Like when you jump off a high dive at like a swimming pool or something. It's that first initial, oh, this is scary, and then you realize, oh, I survived it, even though I was afraid. Yeah. And then you end up being proud of yourself for going forward.
Right. And I think that's a great segue back to what you've been able to do with dance, music, and acting as well, Adele, because, you've been able to slip on these different skins and different projects. So talk to us about the film that's coming out later this month, The Penitent Thief. How did you first find out about it?
So I first found out about it. It was just a casting call, or a breakdown, as you would call it. And I was in Knoxville at the time filming a true crime reenactment show called Murder by Numbers, and it was just a little day, overnight thing. And they put me in a hotel, and I remember seeing it and going, it's in LA. And I thought to myself, if I want to be doing this acting, and this is when I finally decided I'm going to really put my attention into acting. I was like, well, if I really want to do this acting thing, I should be able to travel to work on sets and for auditions, especially in LA. And I was living in Nashville at the time. So I applied for the job, for the role, and then immediately I got asked to audition within like an hour. And so that day, and I applied for it when I was on set of the show I was doing. And then when I got back to my hotel room, I did the audition, and then the next morning I heard from the director, and he wanted to have a phone call with me. And it was such a quick turnaround that I ended up getting this. It happened so fast. But yeah, that's a little bit about how I got into that role.
Amazing. And I think too, a couple of things I'll say about it, and we'll talk more broadly here. I think, anytime you're able to do something special, it's one thing. But I want to talk about something that you mentioned in connection with The Penitent Thief, because it seems to be a different type of project for you. That mantra of doing it afraid, do you think that kind of has helped you not to say no to things that you are glad that you said yes to?
Right. Yeah, right, exactly. You always look back and, I think it's a muscle that you train. You're training yourself to just say yes. Or isn't there like a movie where there's this book where they're talking about saying yes to everything? It's like it's like a rom-com or something. I can't remember what it's called. And just like Yes Man or whatever. Yeah, and that's actually a true thing if it's your something you want to do, your career. Just saying yes to opportunity, because the worst that happens is you go for it and it ends up not being what you wanted to do and doesn't work out. Well, at least you're not going to wonder, I wonder what would have happened if I had just went for it. So yeah, definitely.
How have you navigated this year? I noticed when I was prepping for this, one of the projects you did was a short as well. Dance is such a big part, again, about how people have gotten to know you, though, Adele. What has this year been like for you in kind of dealing with the weirdness that we've been in, but also still being creative?
Well, at first I kind of was a little panicky because it was pilot season when this all started to happen, and audition season, and I wasn't sure what to do or what anybody was doing, and I don't think any of us knew. So I kind of have this FOMO, as you call it, fear of missing out, which I have been fighting and learning that you're not going to miss out on the opportunities that are right for you. You're just not. They're not just going to slip away. So I kind of went on a roller coaster of emotions. To be honest, I was very human at first. It was was difficult. And then there were times where I was very depressed and I didn't want to do anything. And I didn't do dance for a couple weeks straight. I just didn't feel like it. And then when I finally got myself, okay, I should start doing ballet classes online in the living room, I remember just not wanting to do them at all. I've never felt so uninspired to give myself a ballet class or to work out, and I just remember dragging myself through one every single day for almost a month or two, if not 3. And then I made a dance video called Social Distancing, #SocialDistancing. Because I was feeling cooped up and I hadn't been in a ballet studio, and I always like to stay late in the ballet studio and let myself just use the space and dance freely and do some improvisation and just work on some choreography, and it's so good for my soul, and there's nothing like it. And I didn't have anywhere I could do that because everything was closed. And then I kind of had this idea of, a dancer feeling claustrophobic in the whole pandemic and getting in her car and driving out someplace in an open air area so she could just dance and let it out. And that project really helped kind of fuel me again. And it took off pretty well in my hometown because I had filmed it there because I was out quarantined with my parents because they live in a rural area, so it was a little safer to be out there. And so the fact that I got to do that really helped fuel my artistic side again and made me feel like I had purpose and made me know that there is hope. And I hope I can share that hope with other people, too, let them know that they're not alone in feeling frustrated right now. And it was an ode to mental health because it was Mental Health Month, or I think Suicide Prevention Month, because a lot of people were struggling with that at the time, unfortunately, as well. So just that and then getting to create my own project.
Well, I think that's it. There is something about creating, right? It just really does free us. And I think, too, not only for us, knowing what you're able to do for someone else, I want to go back to a post that was made on your Instagram, and one of the comments said something that I think is so true, and I'm sure you hear this a lot, Adele, all the hard work paying off. As we kind of say goodbye to 2020 and look forward to the possibilities of 2021, is that how you kind of see where you are right now, that where, the highs, the lows, the uncertainty has kind of prepared you for what's to come?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think everybody's going to come out of it stronger. I think everybody's going to go, you never know. Excuse me. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring. You just don't. It could be good. It could be bad. It doesn't have to be labeled as good or bad. It just is what it is. And I do think that it made me really appreciate. It gave me time to finally sit back and reflect instead of go, what's next, which I got in the habit of. I think creatives do that. We do. Right. We're like, what's my next project too? Because most of us live on a gig-based lifestyle, made me sit back and go, what all have I done already? And it is all that hard work that's paying off. And you have to give yourself time to rest in that and appreciate that. I don't think any of us do that enough for ourselves. Yeah.
Well, you're speaking to me on that one, Adele. I've been told that. I don't do it enough myself, so I know it is something. I think if anything, we, especially the creative community, we feel like we're not doing enough. And that we have to take advantage of each and every hour. And I'm learning to pause briefly and just enjoy the moment, right? Because, like you said, I mean, you don't know what's to come, but the important thing is what you have right now, and I think that's the great thing. And knowing that you, Adele, are able to provide some escape and some normalcy for others, right? I mean, I think that is the other cool thing. Have you gotten used to the idea of having fans?
Used to the idea of what?
Of having fans?
Of having fans? Yeah, a bit. I mean, it's interesting for sure. It's I never thought that I was this big, inspiring, person to look up at all. I just I'm just a person, but people tell me I inspire them to keep going and do what they want to do and what they love, and sure, I'll take it. I'm so glad that I can help you with that. I think I try to keep a perspective that there's nobody better or worse than anybody else, so I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Well, look, I know people appreciate that, and that's probably why people gravitate toward you. Again, everyone, Adele Pomerenke has been our guest. She's been talking to us not only about her journey as a dancer, an actress, a creative, a lover of music and life, and what she's been able to do. The Penitent Thief is a new project coming out this month, so definitely make sure you guys are checking your local listings for that. And, Adele, how can our audience stay connected with you?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm there the most at Adele Marie Pomerenke, or Facebook and Twitter at Adele Pomerenke. I'm on TikTok, but I don't know what I'm doing. So, like you say, if somebody wants to come help me, I'll take all the help I can get.
There you go. Adele, this has been great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking out some time with us. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to having you back on the show again.
Yes, thank you so much, Cyrus.
Hey, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.